as is tradition, we just jam for like the first minute now.
Can you eat a piece of cheese? Here, you can have a carrot. We love carrots. I've never seen dogs like carrots more than these two. No, you can't eat my cheese. You're gonna be farty. You're gonna be farty. Here, you get one too. Okay, now you go down. Good day. Hello, everyone.
Did the music glitch for anybody else at the start there, or is it just me?
I don't think so.
It was cutting out, and then it sounded like it like slowed down.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Hard out.
All right, so it's just me. Okay.
Welcome everyone to Geek the F Out. We are talking about Stranger Things tonight, Season 2, Episodes 8 and 9, and we are joined by special guest, Mr. Vactor, woo woo, aka a Mind Flayer.
Yes.
And I'm a demo dog, and Johnny's a dungeon master, because that's what he is in real life too. In Dungeons and Dragons.
Kind?
Yeah, exactly. Which I will say, just a spoiler note for That's What They Said. There's definitely some of them that you have to kind of put parentheses in a consensual dom sub relationship.
Yeah.
Because there's some that are like, that's probably not okay to say. But under that context, That's What They Said. But anyways. Welcome. Glad to have you here again. Oh, Johnny's gone.
What? I'm here.
Oh,
Johnny.
Oh, okay. Should we say hi to the chat before we get into it?
Yes. Mark is here. Hello. Quip. Yarr. Allison Troy.
Like a pirate.
Derek Hoover.
Allison, I'm from the 90s. Come on.
The Vactorverse pulling double duty on screen and in the chat. Love to see it.
How does he do it?
And Eldor, Master vs. Toy Hunter. Hello. Strangers and Honkanites.
Welcome. Very excited to talk about these last two episodes, aka the penultimate and the finale of season 2. As usual, a little breakdown for everyone if you haven't watched us before. Johnny has never seen Stranger Things before, so this is kind of the opposite the opposite of our Retrek show, where he hasn't seen it and I've seen it many times, but it's also been a minute since I've seen most of them. So we're gonna break down the episode and just give our thoughts for each of them, and then we'll do our spoilers without context memes and some That's What They Said at the end. So yeah, that's gonna be our show. So let's
I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday of choice.
Oh, yeah.
And
yes.
I've got
Festivus for the rest of us.
We have our holiday stream tomorrow. We'll talk more about that at the end. And New Year's. It's going to be our last streams of 2023.
I know.
Nice.
That's crazy. Where is this year gone? I don't know. I also did some smoky eyes in honor of Millie's bitchin' look. Thanos. And the Wonder Rob.
Thanos rules.
Yes, he's awesome. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to start with Season 2, Episode 8, The Mind Flayer, aka Vactor's other handle. So we start off with a repeat of the end of episode 16 with Hopper and the demo dog coming out of the ground, and they start hitting themselves against the glass, and of course Owens is like, no, it'll be fine, and Hopper's like, you sure about that?
Yeah. Polycarbonate, that's good.
Yeah, of course they break through. and they decide to put Will out so the smoke monster doesn't know where they're going. And Hopper comes in, and they barricaded themselves in the security room, seeing that the demo dogs have taken over the entire building. And then the power goes out. Meanwhile, at Max and Billy's home, their parents come home, and Max is gone. Billy doesn't know where she's gone.
Yeah, holy shit. Max's parents, like on screen, they exist. They're real. Damn.
I totally forgot about this scene. I thought we got more of the parents. I mean, we do, I think, in season 3, but I didn't really remember this too much. And then I was like, oh yeah, this did happen. Which during the scene, Billy is casually cloning his balls. Lovely. Which I'm like, that's not gonna taste good, or whatever. And Dad called him the F word for looking at himself in the mirror, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
Yeah, like I knew the parents were bad and like the dad was bad, but I'm like, oh, he's a grade A douche for sure.
Yeah, the abusive parent definitely explains, but does not excuse Billy's own shittiness. But I definitely understand why he is the way he is now. And simultaneously, I'm like, oh, dude, I feel bad for you, but fuck off. Stop being a douche.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I think, because I've met people who have horrible parents, and they're like the sweetest people on the planet. Yeah.
My dad was a worthless piece of shit. He died last 2 years ago. It was great.
That's how I feel
but
about my
I'm not a
grandma.
shitty person. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Dang.
Ladies love
Yeah.
accented marbles. That's so funny.
Uh,
Yeah. So I'm like, it's not really an excuse. Like, I know it happens. Hey, not the cord, baby. Get
Suddenly
off.
Kayla vanishes. We'll know why. The
Well, it
dog
would've
chewed
been
through a
my-
cord.
It would have been my mic. He sat right on it. Do you want to be on screen? Are you jealous that your brother got to be on screen and you didn't? Okay. Anyways, yeah, I'm like, it's not really.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it's true.
Oh, it's funny because I feel like that's a little more common. Really, you're gonna play now? And he's just spitting. Whereas, like, I'm like, oh yeah, my grandma was the devil incarnate, and people are like, the fuck? Like, that's a little more out of left field. But yes, but we're still okay, people, right? Right?
No, I think so. Yeah. Shitty dads are way more common than shitty mothers and grandmothers. Yeah.
Don't mind
All
the
I can think
sounds
of is
the children.
all I can think of now is you said mama, and all I can think of is horrible bosses when he's like, "I'm sorry, you call your grandma Mima."
Yeah, so it's like, it's not like, it's kind of an explanation, but
It's definitely an explanation. Like, it explains why he's a douchebag. It does not excuse him being a douchebag, but it explains why he is. I understand why he is a douchebag.
Yes. That was a very interesting side note of the kind of nature versus nurture argument. It's very like interesting to see that.
Mm-hmm. And it's because like that's his biological dad, and the woman is his stepmom and is Max's biological mom. So like,
yeah,
I can imagine. I hope that the dude, you would hope that he's not that way with any of the children, but I especially hope that he's not that way with Max, since she's not his blood child.
Right.
But
yeah,
you know, give it a couple of years when being a stepdad and be like, I'm your dad, and then it'll be the same.
I'm your daddy.
Dang.
With the Y, not an I. Yeah. So yeah, he like throws him up against the wall and makes him apologize, and he's like, cancel the date, go find your sister. And then we have a scene with Steve, Max, Dustin, and Lucas where they're walking through the woods and talking about Dart and how he ate Muse. And Dustin finally admits to Lucas that he kept him, and they kind of fight for a little bit. And then they realize that the demo dogs are all going back to the lab. Dun, dun, dun. And, oh, yeah. Yeah, what Quip just said.
Yeah.
And then Owens makes a plan to reset the breakers, and Bob says he's the only one that can reboot the computer, which I'm just realizing now I totally should have used the scene in Jurassic Park for my spoilers without context.
Ooh.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That would have been good. And then he's like, "Do you speak basic?" It was so funny.
That scene was great.
Yeah. And also just in terms of like recent years with what basic means. And it's like, are you basic? Do you speak basic? I just thought
Are
that
you a
was
basic
funny.
bitch?
Yes. And proud of it. Okay, who farted? What the heck is going on here? There is so much happening right now. It's like you were sleeping 5 minutes ago. Anyways, let's see. Then we have Nancy and Jonathan show up to the lab and the power's out. And then Steve and Co just kind of show up out of the woods, aka I'm calling them the like babysitters club every time Steve's with the kids. So
That makes sense.
FYI,
I can see that.
that's what I mean. Especially for next episode, I like break down the 3 different storylines because they just jump back and forth between scenes so much that I just like put them all into chunks. So when I literally called the babysitters club. And Bob makes it to the breakers and reboots the system. Meanwhile, the Misfits are trying to get through the gate. That's what I'm going to call all of them, the Misfits. Owens guides Bob out and Hopper and crew in order to avoid the demo dogs. Although he only really guides Owens, I guess. Guides Bob. And he ends up hiding in a closet to avoid one of the demo dogs. And then when he opens it, a fucking broom falls, making the demo dog go after him, which is just terrifying. And he's right about to make it out, and then he gets attacked by a different demo dog. And now's the time to have a moment of silence for Bob Newby. It's not really a moment of silence if you're typing, Jonathan. And yes, I know that's not your name. I'm just going to say that every time you're in trouble.
I had to do it.
Anyways, justice for Bob. Nancy and Jonathan.
Wait, hang on. You're glossing over Bob's death, which has been built up all season because people were like, yeah, it's safe. Go ahead and get attached to Bob.
But you wouldn't have known unless people in the chat had said something.
I wouldn't have known. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. But I definitely wrote, yeah, Bob's going to die. As soon as he was like, I'll go do it, I'm like, he's fucking toast. And then they faked me out because he got to the lobby and I was like, oh, maybe he's going to be okay. And I literally wrote fuckers - Bob fake out because I thought he was going to be okay. And then
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Then they had to rub it in with that final like overhead shot of just the demo dogs having a buffet of Bob.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. When I first saw this, I was like, oh yeah, there's no way they're going to kill him. No, not Sam. They can't kill him.
Yeah.
And then
not Sam, I scammed you.
He got toast.
He got toast, yeah. And it's funny.
Superhero.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like he was such a great character, and yeah, and like I think he served his purpose and like definitely helped Joyce out a lot. But it sucked. Like really sucked when he died. But like, I mean, yeah, we kind of all saw it coming, so it's not that crazy, unfortunately.
I mean, look at this season: Justice for Bob. Justice for Muse. Justice for Yertle. And continuing Justice for Barb. Justice for 4.
Oh boy. But yeah. So yeah, moment of silence for Bob.
Quip.
Yeah, his wholesomeness made him that much tastier. Quip. Wow. You know, maybe.
Mr. Wonderful has joined us.
Hi, Travis. Welcome, welcome. Any other thoughts on Bob before I move on? can talk
No,
about
that's
him
it.
more at
That's
the end
yeah. That
to
pretty much covers
wrap
it.
things up. Okay. So yeah, Nancy and Jonathan drive up to rescue crew. Hopper grabs kids on the way out. So, and like for some reason, how I remember this was like that was the end of the episode. I'm like, oh yeah, we're only like halfway through this episode right now. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Is that how you remembered it, Vactor, or do you remember it being in the middle of the episode too?
I remember it being in the middle of the episode, but that would have been a great place to stop. Like that would make
Yeah.
sense. That would be like
Mm-hmm.
Where
the
Bob
logical
dying?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right on that overhead shot that Johnny
Yeah.
loved. That would have been the best time to stop right there.
Step too far, Duffer Brothers. You took it too far.
Too far. So yeah, back at the buyer's house, Hopper tries to get military.
Hopper is a copper.
I think he is
You never take me alive, copper. Yeah, say.
I think he's calling the military, right, to have them come and help.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It took me a second. I'm like, is he just calling his own station? Because, like, the fuck are they going to do about it?
No, I think that's why, like, because he was like, I am the sheriff. Like, I think they were like, well, have you called your local law enforcement? Because we're like federal.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I am the local law enforcement. I am the law.
I am
Little
the captain
Stallone
now.
Judge Dredd.
Am the Senate.
Exactly. Let's see.
Which I will say, now, since I brought it up, I have to say, as bad as it is, I love that Stallone Judge Dredd movie. It is the epitome of cheese. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Cheese.
And then the Carl Urban Dredd movie is also amazing.
Yes.
In completely different way.
I haven't watched that one, but I will for Carl Urban because, I mean, hello.
You definitely need to watch it.
Let's see. And then Hopper consoles Joyce. Very sweet moment because, he lost his daughter, so he gets it, losing someone very close. And then the boys talk about how Bob was the founder of Hawkins AV Club, which is very cute. Cute little moment. And they're like, he shouldn't die in vain. I'm like, all right. Like, y'all are 12.
Yeah, right. Like, it's a little, yes. It's it's the problem I have sometimes with adults writing children. Like, I think we have to assume that every child teenager that is like a focal point of a story, like a main character, is above average intelligence, because these 12, 13-year-olds do not talk like 12, 13-year-olds would have spoke in 1984. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then, of course, he's like, if we stop the smoke monster, then we can stop the demo dogs. And this is when they call it the mind flare. And there's kind of like this bell noise that happens right when they say mind flare. Did you guys notice this? Like, it's part of like the soundtrack. Like, it doesn't happen in real life. They're just like, it's just like ding.
I didn't notice.
I don't know.
Yeah, I did not.
I think it was kind of like a
sure?
light bulb sound.
Are you sure you just didn't have the notifications on your phone turned on and it just
No, because
dinged?
I watched this 4 times in the
wow.
last 2 days. So
Hey.
yeah, no. It made it was like a light bulb sound kind of thing. Not an actual light bulb, but like, when they do that.
I will believe that Allison spoke this way when she was 12.
Oh,
100%.
definitely. Definitely.
And yeah, pretty much. Kids are smarter than every adult in town. Yeah.
Except for Hopper and Joyce and kind of Murray.
You can't,
Stupid
this is
boring
true.
kids.
You can see stupid boring kids everywhere.
Yeah, so they call it the Mind Flayer, and
Mind
they
Flamer?
say- Flamer. Oh, did someone say that in the scene?
Yeah, Nancy calls it the Mind Flayer, and Dustin's like, Flayer.
Yeah.
Mind Flayer. It's like, you dumbass, get it right. It's Mind Flayer.
They talk about how it wants to thinks it's better than other races and wants to take over everything, which of course fucking Steve, you know, you have a good heart, but he's like the Germans, and Dustin's like, the Nazis, not the Germans. Come on, you stupid. Which I mean,
similar to
a lot of people do that already. So
similar to like the breakdown I talked about, like with the patriot, like we're patriots in this house comment a couple episodes ago, where I was like, that was a thing in the mid 80s, like at the height of the Cold War, like Russians were bad, etc. Like I fully believe that there were plenty of people who were like, all of Germany is Nazis. Like that's just how they probably thought it was.
People still do. Like yeah, they're anyways. Yeah, and Hopper's like, it's a kid's game. And they're like, no, it's not. It's a metaphor. No, it's an analogy. They keep arguing about it. And Joyce comes in and she's like, we have to kill this thing. And Mike's like, well, we can use Will to get the Mind Flayer. What? Johnny.
Continue.
Say something. Okay.
Keep going.
And then we kind of have all these little small scenes with a bunch of duos as they disguise the buyer's shed. And we have a Cockward Nancy and Steve scene, which, you know, Johnny hates Nancy and Steve, specifically Steve.
100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll talk about how you feel about him at the very end. How about that?
Okay.
And Dustin calls Max Lucas's girlfriend. He's like, she's not my girlfriend. He's like, dude, I could feel the electricity between you two.
That's another like thing a 12 and 13-year-old would not ever fucking say, or in my opinion, be cognizant of electricity and chemistry between two people.
Well, that's
I feel like it's not.
Steve told to Dustin, and Steve's a little older, and like maybe, but like I don't know if he could really feel it.
He might have, maybe if he was parroting something Steve said to him, then I missed that. But
yeah, Steve did say it to him.
Yeah. Him coming up with that on his own, I could feel the electricity.
No,
dude, you're 12.
No,
you're 12.
it was from Steve when they were making the trail of bait. And then let's see.
Fair enough, Allison. Fair enough.
Let's see. Oh, Max and Mike have a scene together, and Mike is still bitter about her. And Max is like trying so hard with him too. And she's like, she's like, Elle sounded awesome. And he's like, yeah, she was. And then kind of has this cute moment where she's like, yeah, who needs a dumb Zoomer anyways? And Mike kind of laughs. I'm like, she's breaking through to him. Also, at this point, I was like, how has Hopper not told them Elle is alive by now? Like, obviously he does, like we find out at the end of this episode, and then he talks about it in the next episode. But I don't know. Like, it's the fact that he hasn't brought it up once at all to any of them. But he also hasn't done it the last year, so. But yeah, I mean, especially now where Elle could help them, and he's not saying it is weird. Like, if it had come up maybe in this episode, and then him and Mike fight about it, I think that would have made more sense than how it happened in the next episode, because it felt very off in next episode. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Can you not? Okay, just kidding.
There were a couple of things like that I wrote down about, like they took him back, like it's back to where it all began, because Hopper was like in the shed. He's like, this will do, like this will work for their makeshift interrogation room. I'm like, oh, back to where it all began, because that's where Will first disappeared into the Upside Down last season. And also, in big capital letters in my notes, I wrote, what did I say? Take Will, tie him up, fucking blindfold him, put earmuffs on him, don't let him know where he is. Like, literally, what did I say? That's exactly what I said to do to him, like, when he first got infected by this thing. Quarantine him, blindfold him, like, yeah!
Thank you for coming to Johnny's TED Talk. That's literally my next note. They tie him to Beam in the shed, shine a bright light on him, ... child abuse, ?
Hey, who cares? It's justified. He's possessed by something.
Also, I don't know if I missed it or if it's still... Maybe it's
Also,
next
I wrote
episode.
that Mike needs to take the stick all the way out of his ass.
I think it might be next episode. Okay, well, we'll see. If it doesn't happen next episode, I'll mention it. There's an Easter egg, so remind me.
Okay.
Will freaks out when he wakes up and he does this weird, creepy exorcist voice and makes the lights flicker. And I'm like, dear God, this is a terrifying movie right now. I do not like it. No, thank
Poor
you.
Will.
When kids talk in weird exorcist voices, no, thank you. Not today, Satan. No. It's just like something just like extra creepy about it that just gets me. And I like scary movies. I've gotten into them more recently, and just that is just, yeah, it's scary. Let's see. Then Joyce, Jonathan, and Mike start to tell Will his memories to bring him out. It doesn't really work, and Will asks them to let him go. Meanwhile, Hopper realizes that Will is tapping his chair in Morse code, which we have Morse code back again. And they continue to tell him memories while Will codes close gate, is what he says. And the phone fucking rings because, of course, that phone, which was such a thing in the first season and is still a thing in this season. Like, Joyce gets scared by the phone earlier on in the season. And I'm like, did no one think to unplug this phone? There's like 10 of you there. How did not...
Well, they were waiting for the call back. Hopper was like... Yes, this number, the number I gave you, like they're waiting for the callback from whoever Hopper was talking to. And that was probably his reinforcements, and now they missed it because they decided to like obliterate the phone and like rip it out of the wall and smash it.
I guess. But yeah, so we're like, oh, fuck, it knows. And Joyce knocks him out again. And they start to hear the demo dogs in the distance. And Hopper gives Nancy a gun, and they arm themselves in the living room. Mike has like a trophy or like a candle holder or something,
like a candlestick, like it's fucking
cool. And fucking Lucas with his fucking wrist rocket again. And I'm like, what are you gonna do with that, buddy? And like no one else has anything. Like I'm like, you couldn't grab knives or like a bat, which I don't know if they would have bats in that house, but like I still think Joyce would. Or like
it's great that Hopper's got the, I don't know if it was a BB gun or a rifle. He's like, can you use this? And Jonathan's like, and Nancy's like, I can. It's just fucking
I think it was
she's like the only other one there who can shoot.
I think it was like a 22, probably like a chipmunk or something. But yeah, I was like, can anyone else get things to defend themselves? Like, I don't know, seemed very odd. And then all of a sudden, a dead demo dog gets thrown through the window, and they're like, what? And 11 shows up. Yay! And that's the end of episode 8. Mm-hmm. The end. Good day. Any
I said good day.
Thoughts on episode 8? Did you like how 11 showed up, Johnny? in that one.
It felt very convenient that she just happened to show up, right? But that's television for you. I thought she was going to end up showing up I thought this entire episode was going to be in the lab, and that she would have shown up in the lab at the end to clear the lobby so that everybody could get away. So yeah, I was surprised during the middle of the episode that they were out and back to the buyer's house. And then when the thing flew through the window, and everybody's I'm like, who is the only person that can telekinesis something around? It's got to be 11.
I mean, yeah. You're not wrong. Did you have any other thoughts, Vactor, especially with rewatching it, stuff you forgot or anything else like that?
I was very surprised to see this episode, how much action it had and how much the pacing of it just kept on going. And this was a really good penultimate episode for the season to kind of get you ready for the last episode. So I really liked this rewatch. I had not seen it since 2017, so it's been 6 years, but everything kind of came back to me of oh yeah, this was what was happening at this time. And then kind of thinking about, oh, what's going to happen next was also very interesting. So that was a really good rewatch for me.
Yeah.
I think Thanos has a good point. He says he kind of forgot about 11 until the demo dog flew through the window. I'm kind of the same way. I wasn't thinking about 11 at all during the episode until the moment it flew through the window. I'm like, oh, there's 11.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, especially because, last episode was last episode.
Yeah.
Was that episode. So we were please rid our minds of that.
They should have had somebody go,
do not eat my cheese.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's move on to episode 9, the finale. Oh my god, dog down, good day. Which is called The Gate. And start right where we left off in episode 8. Yes, Quip, we talked about this last time. 11's side quest was meh.
Yeah.
Meh. That's a great way to describe it. Finale's in a movie theater. That would be cool. That's awesome. Elle and Mike hug, and Hopper finally reveals that he's been hiding her. And then, we have this weird reuniting scene between Hopper and Elle where, where have you been? And then they hug. Which I was I don't know if this is weird writing choices or I don't know what to blame for this weirdness exactly, but it just felt off. And then the next scene where Mike gets mad at Hopper and they go in the other room and they argue. Obviously he's upset, but it just felt very weird to me.
Fuck all the way off, Mike. Just fuck off all the way.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Yeah.
He's such a pain in the ass this
whiny.
season.
Oh, whiny boy.
It's like we were saying, Mike, it's funny because he is one of the main characters, but definitely has main character syndrome where he is the most important person. But he's not. He's far from it. I think out of the main group of the four of them, Mike right now, at least right now, is the least important one.
I don't like him. Thanks, and I don't like him.
I don't think anyone really does. This is the season of fuck off, Mike. Fuck all the way off.
Thanks, Allison. Yeah, smack the like button.
Thanks. Smack that like.
Do all that YouTube stuff. And then 11 with Max is kind of being stupid with Max too. It's do you not see that she obviously doesn't give a shit about Mike at this point? Chill out, 11. I think she's just still mad that they replaced her with there's a girl in the group and it's not her.
Yeah. And right before that, Dustin and Lucas talk with Elle, and she's surprised to see Dustin's teeth. She's like, "You have teeth." And he does it to her. And I'm like, dear God, please stop. Please stop. But yeah, so Elle won't shake Max's hand. She completely blows her off. And Elle goes in to see Will, and she knows he's not doing well. And Joyce asks her if she can close the gate since she opened it. And then we get the giant vulva shot with shit ton of demogorgons at the bottom, aka the gate. Yeah, that's what I've been calling it all season, Vactor. You're like, okay. And then we have the iconic scene of Mrs. Wheeler taking a bath, and Billy shows up with a deep V shirt and hits on her real hard. Says he's looking for Max, and I'm like, sure, Jan. Go ahead.
Number one, good God, Karen. And Ted, what the fuck are you doing? Two, Billy Hargrove, you dog.
He's got the dog in him.
What a...
As the kids say these days.
I couldn't think of the word. Like, what a cad? What a schmoz? I don't know what the word I wanted to use for him was. But I did laugh at when
he's cougar like, hunting.
Yeah, Nancy. No, not my type.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I like the older women.
But yeah,
which is
Ted,
interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ted's doing something. Ted fucked up.
Ted's not doing anything. He's sitting in that chair asleep.
Yeah.
And that's basically a great metaphor to what he's actually doing in real life. Nothing.
Ted, your wife has had 3 kids and is still a smoke show, and you're asleep in the fucking chair. What is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm. Like,
and
she's
Zac Efron
taking
just showed up at your door.
Yeah. Like, she's taking a bubble bath with candles. Come on. What are you doing? Unless she said, like, I want my alone time, romance then I get novel. It. Yeah. But, like, clearly. Come on.
No, I get the feeling that that's a dead bedroom situation at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Billy clearly has mommy issues. Yep, that is for sure. God
damn it.
I'm just gonna leave that there. Let's see. And yeah, he says he's looking for Max, and I'm like, sure, Jan. Which I'm curious. Like, he said he was getting ready for a date, and I don't know. Like, maybe he saw Mrs. Wheeler and like wanted to anyways, but then like he had to go find Max and just like happened to work out. But like, I never really like, I mean, I guess maybe we just like don't know if he actually had a date or not, but I can't remember. I swear we like found out more about that, but I guess not.
I'm sorry,
in terms of who he was going on a date with.
I think I think that part is inconsequential. Like, I think he actually had a date, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it was at all, because what matters is that he had to cancel it, which I'm not sure why he listened to his dad and actually canceled it, unless I'm guessing that he's fearing like actual physical abuse if he doesn't go and find his sister.
Yes. That's what I think.
And then he was already like dressed up and ready to be on a date, and Mrs. Wheeler answers the door in her negligee, and she's fucking hot, even though she's, you know, way older than him, but she's also like, Karen, this dude's like 17, 18, maybe if we're being generous. He's definitely in high school. He's your daughter's age. Calm down.
Calm your tatas. And yes, I did notice that the romance novel did look like Billy. I did
not look at that clearly.
Oh, I did. And anyways, so Elle says she can close the door or the gate. Mike says they need to separate Will from the mind flayer, or else Will is gonna die if they close the gate. and they need to smoke it out, aka heat it out. And Jonathan and Joyce take Will to Hopper's cabin, or they're like about to, and Nancy and Steve talk. Oh, this is the scene. And he says she should go with Jonathan. And also, there's a bit of a Christmas lights Easter egg because Steve picks up some Christmas lights, like a bundle of them, and like tosses them to the side.
Oh.
And talks about how he's a good babysitter. And Ella and Mike say goodbye, and they almost kiss. And then this starts the 3 different storylines. So I'm going to start with probably like the least important, the Babysitters Club, aka Steve and the kids.
Before you go that,
Go ahead.
I had to laugh at the when they're talking and Dustin's like demo dog and Chopper's like, how is this important right now? I thought that was hilarious. He's like, it's not. And then this might be, I'm not sure if this was before or the start of like Joyce is like, we keep giving it what it wants.
Yeah. It was
no shit, Joyce, you're just figuring this out now?
Yeah, she's yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No comment.
Your babysitters.
So yeah. So I'm going to start with the Babysitters Club, and then I'm going to talk about Cabin Fever, as I named it. And then I originally titled this Hopper and Elle, and then I'm going to change it to Daddy Daughter Time. So I'll go in that order. Because in the actual episode, it flashes between these 3 so much that I was like, this is going to get really confusing and annoying if I try to explain this. Yeah, I actually almost used Mrs. Robinson as one of my memes. And then I didn't.
Well, my notes are in chronological order, so I don't know how I'm going to keep up with you.
Sorry. Okay, so the Babysitters Club. Dustin has Steve put Demo Dog in the buyer's fridge, which, totally normal.
I do wonder, is the cold going to rejuvenate it? Like, because, like, Will was like, he wants cold. Like, my thought was that putting it in the fridge might, like, help heal it, but I'm guessing that it's stone dead.
Yeah, I think it's dead. It's been killed by Elle, so
it was just a thought I had. I'm like, are we gonna have a situation where they're gonna be in a house and all of a sudden this thing's gonna hop out of the fridge like fresh as a daisy because they put it in a cold place?
Let's hope not.
I think not, because by the end of this episode, like obviously it's like a couple months later and there's been no.
Yeah, he's dead. And then the kids think they could distract the demo dogs by trapping them and burning them. And Steve is like, abso-fucking-lutely not. And then Billy shows up to the buyers and Steve meets him outside. And I will save that epic line for That's What They Said.
Yeah, my note was, oh, this can only go well.
Yeah.
And then Steve has to get his face broken at least once a season, apparently. Like,
yes, he does. It's in his contract.
In his contract.
Yeah, and I was like, stupid kids. Of course, Billy can see you. Like, why are you looking through the fucking window? You stupids. Stupid. Like, if you can see him, he can see you. Like, he's not that far away. It's not like he's like a mile away.
Their stealth skill is not that high yet. They're still training.
No, it is like a 0. And then Billy pushes Steve down and goes in and goes after Lucas, of course, because racist. And Steve comes in and punches him. Fight is my note. And LOL at Dustin cheering Steve on. Kill the son of a bitch. Take him down. Which reminds me of one of my favorite movies, The Benchwarmers, where he's like, snap his femur. Which I played sports and I would yell that and people would look at me like, what? And I'm like, it's from a movie. I don't actually want the femur to be snapped. Yeah. And it was during this scene when they're fighting and Billy's like essentially getting off on it and I'm like, Billy's on coke, right? Like like he must be like, dude is like, yeah, let's go, even when he's like also getting the shit beat out of him, and like he must be on coke. Like, come on. I don't know, Johnny.
They haven't given us any indication that he's on any kind of drug, so I think he's
Yeah,
just
but he
fucked
just
up.
seems like so amped up. Like, he is fucked up, but he just seems so amped up, and like also seems the type to be on coke. Exactly, it was the 80s. Like, come on, 2 + 2 = 4. And then he
maybe.
just starts beating the shit out of Steve, and that's when Max stabs him with the tranquilizer.
Yeah, go Max.
And yeah, loved this. And she's like, leave me and my friends alone, and like slams the nail bat down right very close to the family jewels. And yeah, he finally is like, okay. And I love that she's the one that does this and like gets him to stop. I think that was perfect because, you know, he's treated her so badly, so for her to be the one to neutralize him essentially and make him stop, like that was good. And then we have Steve waking up in the car with the kids, and he looks so bad. His face looks so bad. And Max is driving, and so Steve freaks out, and he thinks Mike is Nancy. I just thought that was so funny. And then like as he's waking up, Dustin's like, you put up a good fight. He kicked your ass, but you put up a good fight. I was like, oh, Dustin. you're so sweet, but like, oh no. And then kids get to the hole, and Steve tries to stop them, but ends up protecting them in the tunnels anyways, because Dustin's like, you know, you're supposed to protect us, so like we're here, so protect us. And he's like, okay, fine. And then while they're in the tunnels, Dustin gets jizzed on by a giant spore and freaks out for no reason. You know, you can say that out loud too. Yeah, and he freaks out, and Dustin screaming is always so funny to me because it's so loud and shrieky. Right. Especially because I watched the last time I watched these episodes, I had it in like 1.5 speed, and dear God, my ears hurt.
That's how I was watching it this time.
Yeah. And so they finally find the hub, and they start to drench in gasoline. They light it up, and like as they're running out, Mike gets grabbed by the vine things, of course, and that's when they get approached by a demo dog, and Dustin's like, it's dirt, he has the markings on him, and he feeds it nougat, and they're able to get by him. So like, cute. But also I'm like, I know he said he had like yellow on his tail, but I'm like, what if another one had that too? Like, you haven't seen enough of them to know what their markings are like. So that was a big, big risk he took. But yeah. Apparently they like nougat.
Which I used to love in the 80s and 90s, but I don't love it anymore.
That's because that's what he fed him when he was like a newborn, like pollywog was.
Yep.
After he got him out of the trash can, was just he was reared on Three Musketeers. Yes. And he hasn't had one since he tried to trap him in the basement.
He got him on that nostalgia factor. It's a hell of a drug. As kids are going through a hole, a bunch of demo, like when they're coming out of the hole, a bunch of demo dogs run by without even stopping, and they're like, oh fuck, they're going to L.
Yeah, I was like, they ran right past them. What the fuck? Oh wait, 11.
Yeah. So then we have the next of the groups. So this is the cabin fever part now. And so the Byers fam and Nancy get to the cabin, and they tie Will down and put a bunch of heaters around him. And there's what are you gonna say?
One well done Will Byers coming right up.
Yes. Nice and toasty. And of course, Will wakes up and freaks out, and Joyce is like, "Oh, I'm going to turn the heat up even more." She
Yeah.
is pissed. She's like, "I want my son back." And then Will's veins start to turn black and like go towards his head, and he starts getting out of his restraints and chokes Joyce. And that's when Nancy, she takes like one of the hot stoker
Like fire
poker
pokers.
things and just puts it on Will. And that's when he finally lets go of her.
Hang on a second. Why are people talking like it doesn't exist anymore? Like nougat is still a thing. Three Musketeers is like still sold in stores.
I
You
love
can still
Three
buy
Musketeers.
it. Like people are talking about like Three Musketeers doesn't exist and they don't sell nougat anymore. It's still out there.
I feel like it used to be a bigger selling point. Like we got nougat in ours,
Yeah.
and now like
Yeah.
I don't hear that anymore.
No. I don't see many commercials for candy because I don't watch like actual television.
Yes, I also
No one
see
does.
no commercials except for on YouTube.
Yeah, and they're not the same.
Only on Hulu.
The only time I'm watching commercials is for Super Bowl commercials, and that's like you're watching the commercials more than you're watching the actual game.
Yeah, unless the Niners are in it, I don't care. Which hopefully they will be this year, even though we failed on Christmas. Anyways, let's see. And then the smoke monster finally goes out of Will, and he wakes up, and Jonathan tells Hopper to close the damn gate. Vactor. So then we have daddy-daughter time. And so Hopper and Elle are in the car on the way to the lab, and they kind of have this tender vittles scene where Elle tells him she went to see her mom, and Hopper is so concerned she hitchhiked to her mom's. He's like, "This guy in the truck? What?" And Hopper apologizes for lying to her about her mom, which I think is like this whole season with Hopper and Elle. I think it's a good kind of metaphor. Like, I'm not a parent, but I think it is a good metaphor for parenting. Like, you're only really doing the best you can do, and you're gonna make mistakes. And also, it's kind of like good to show your kids that like you make mistakes, because trying to be perfect is just like A, like no one's gonna be perfect, and B, it's not realistic. And like you got to show them that like, you know, shit happens in life, we make mistakes, and that's okay. Like, it happens, we apologize, we do better. So yeah, I liked this whole little scene they had together, and made me think that this whole season I think is maybe not metaphor, but just like a good example of like, you know, you don't need to be perfect, just got to do the best you can, and that's all you can do anyways.
Yeah, prepare your kids for the fact that nobody's got everything fucking figured out. Like there doesn't come a day when magically you turn into an adult and you know everything that you need to know to do to survive. That doesn't happen. And kids think that that's going to happen, because I thought that was going to happen. I'm like, oh, when I hit this, like when I graduate high school and go, like, it'll all be figured out. I'll know it. No, it doesn't fucking happen that way. But this was, this is probably my favorite scene from this season. Like, just these two characters having an honest conversation with each other is great. Like, it's fantastic.
It's great. And yeah, what Derek said, every parent does make mistakes. The good ones apologize where they should. And yeah, I don't know why it's so hard for some to take accountability for their actions, but you know, it's fine.
And it was interesting to me that I forget exactly
That's not from
what
personal
he said.
experience at all.
I forget exactly what he said, but he said, he was talking about, like, he's like, Sarah had an astronomy book, and I was like, who's Sarah? And he looks at her like, how the fuck how have I not told you about Sarah? He's like, I just thought it was funny. Like, he mentioned her so casually and naturally during this conversation, and then like it took Elle being like, who the fuck are you talking about, dude? For him to be like, oh, I I haven't told you about her yet. I liked that exchange too. I thought that was fun.
Mhm.
That was great.
Yeah. I forgot that they haven't talked about it. Yeah, and then they show up at the lab and they come across Owens in the lab stairs, which so surprised he's alive. Totally forgot about this. Hopper tells him, you know, she's about to save their asses, so like maybe you could help her out so she doesn't have to be like experimented on the rest of her life. And luckily, he does. And then they come across a bunch of demo dogs, but they seem to run away, which is thanks to the babysitters
The
club.
arsonists?
Yes, the arsonists. And they take the lift down into the vulva, which is super wide now. And Elle starts to work her magic and can see the mind flayer through the gate, which was absolutely terrifying. God almighty.
This elevator sequence was 100% made for a video game. Like them descending, Hopper with the rifle having to shoot demo dogs while Elle's like filling up a meter. Then she needs to get the full. Like and every time she gets hit, it 100% a video game sequence.
Yeah.
I'd play that.
And let's see. Elle remembers Collie's advice and starts channeling her anger to close the gate and kind of have these flashes back to Brenner talking to her about being a festering wound, which I'm just like, ugh. And then the demo dogs start showing up and Hopper is shooting them down, like you said. And then the smoke monster starts to come through the gate, which is even more terrifying. And Elle starts levitating and also electrifies the town at the same time. Like, with her powers, like, everything lights up. Which, dear God, that is a lot of power. And also, why is it going there and not towards the monster? I don't know. Just like a side effect, I guess. Going down. You said it, not me. Justice for Vulva Portal. Oh no. And she's done it. She finally closes the gate. It has been sealed, and the demos fall down the hole, and all the vines die. The end. Just kidding. That's the end of the 3 storylines. So now we're back on track. So now we're good with
Dart's
the notes.
dead.
R.I.P. Dart. Moment of silence for Dart.
That's enough. He's kind of a dick. Like, we were with him from he was with us from the very beginning, but Dart was kind of a dick.
Sure. So the lab gets
ate Muse. He ate the cat. Justice for Muse.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, fuck Dart.
Anyways, lab gets shut down. Which I was like, that's a little late there, military getting involved. Which was so funny because as they're leaving, Murray is just sitting there watching them leave. I'm like, why?
Listen.
Why? Dude's very invested, clearly.
Look, yeah, the lab's been shut down. Look, I work for state government. And like, that building is not going to be vacant for very long because that's expensive retail. That's expensive real estate. They probably have a lease that they can't break. So something's going in there at some point real soon. I do not expect for that. Oh, it's got to be some other weird ass research facility because that's what they're set up for. Like it's going to be either an independent outfit doing it or it's just going to be the government through various shell companies and like pseudonyms that it's just going to be the same shit.
Right.
Someone's going to be like, this is where the portal was. We got to go in there and like study the residual electromagnetic fields. And it's going to be the fucking Ghostbusters. We're gonna put the containment unit in there.
Ghostbusters.
So
So then
it was the
the
first
first
dude.
I'm dead.
Hmm.
That's so funny. So yeah, guess it worked with Murray and the tapes then, which is
Yeah.
amazing. And
Well, they what did they say? They watered it down and made it believable. They made it like she didn't like end up getting sucked into a parallel dimension where she was eaten by a demogorgon.
which
which
we
like
hear through the news that apparently it was like some
poisoned
chemical
water or chemical. Yeah, like
poison.
I'm guessing the story is that like they cover it was a big cover up and like the body was hidden or cremated and like because obviously it's not her body in that casket. I'm assuming that casket is empty.
Oh, yeah. Like, how are they gonna get
So
it out of the
yeah,
upside down?
I'm
Plus, I don't know
guessing
if there's
the
anything left because the
yeah
Demogorgon was eating it.
I'm guessing the official story is that like the body was probably disposed of as part of a cover up, and so yeah.
So then, let's see. We find out that Owens is indeed still alive, luckily, and Hopper meets with him at a restaurant, and Owens gives Hopper certificate of adoption for Elle and says to stay on the DL though for like another year. And Hopper's like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Can she have just a night?" And which we find out what that night is, and it's the snowball. And we have a bunch of like getting ready scenes where Will and Joyce are dancing while Jonathan is filming them, which I thought it was really cute that he's continuing Bob's legacy of filming everything with his camera. So that was a very sweet little moment. And Mike's mom is taking pics of him, and Mike is like, "Fuck this."
Just like last season.
Yes. Lucas is practicing in front of mirror what to say to Max, and it's like so cringe, but like we've all been there. And fucking Erica is making fun of him, which, you know, love Erica.
Yeah, and he's like, just stop. But also, technically, Lucas, she wasn't in your room. She was standing outside of your room. He's like, don't come in my room. Stay out of my room. Like, she wasn't in your room, Lucas. She wasn't in your room. She was by your room.
Which sounds like I don't have siblings, but I've seen it many a times before where the technicality there with it is very important.
Also there was a drawing in the Byers household that it looked like it was one of Will's crayon drawings that was Bob Newby superhero.
Moment of silence for Bob. He's so sweet. Hashtag justice for Bob. And then Max's mom does her hair and she's like, "Fuck this," which thank God my mom was never like this. Like if I ever did anything, I did on my own because like I would have hated it. I was such a tomboy growing up until I was like in 7th, 8th grade, I think. Yeah. And even then I was like, I just want to do everything on my own anyways. And luckily my mom was not like that because I would have been like, "Get the fuck off me, mother." And then we have a full circle back to the beginning of the season with Dustin walking around the house going, "Son of a bitch," looking for something.
Yeah.
And we see his mom has a new cat.
Yeah, there's a stocking for twos.
Yeah.
TEWS.
Muse number 2.
Yeah.
And Dustin does the Farrah Fawcett spray.
Yeah, it's the Farrah Fawcett spray.
And Steve picks him up and drops him off and hypes him up, and it's a very cute scene. Like, you can't deny that's not cute, Johnny. You didn't need to pick him up. He was not just there.
Yeah, I'm wondering why. Like, is he like, is this a Big Brothers Big Sisters program now? Like, why is Steve just randomly picking Dustin up and taking him to the dance?
He likes Dustin. They bonded. Okay. What? Why is that so weird?
I'm with Kay. I think they had some type of a spiritual connection. They had some type of bond.
Yeah, they were walking along, like Steve was giving him the advice and everything, and yeah, yeah, and plus, like even in like the group situations, they still had a lot of bonding time. If you don't see the greatness in this scene, you just like try to find what's wrong, and yeah, Steve chose to do this. He chose to pick him up and take him to the dance. He did not need to do that. He did it out of the kindness of his heart.
Okay, that's cool. That's fine. I mean, good for him. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was a little odd.
Did you not remember all their scenes together and talking about the
No, I
Farrah
did.
Fawcett spray? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
You're telling me they're friends? Like the 17-year-old and the 12-year-old are buds and are hanging out? That seems and
Well,
like
yeah, it's
maybe
an
the
older
fact that
brother
they
to him. Dustin's
they-
an only
the-
child.
the
I
fact
totally
that they
had
survived
older
like
friends like
an
that.
apocalypse together is probably like
Yeah. That's a
explains
big
it. but-
deal. Twice. They survived twice together.
Yes.
It's a big deal. Trauma
No,
bonding is real.
dude, no, don't put those words in my mouth. I did not say in any way, shape, or form that I am a John Byers fan.
I love how you changed it to John instead of Jonathan because your name is John and not Jonathan. Anyways, Steve sees Nancy inside and gets a little emo.
I will fully admit that at like 10% of my hate on Steve is a meme right now, but I still
Yes.
I still don't. He's not. Would not even rate as one of my favorite characters. If he was gone, I.
But do you still hate him?
Hate is probably too strong of a word.
Do you like him? Like, is he okay?
Meh.
Is he okay?
Meh.
I can't wait
Moment
to
of
see how
silence
this
for Johnny. I am going to remove him from the stream now. Anyways.
Listen.
Yeah, listen. Of course you're on Johnny's side.
develop.
I'm not surprised.
Bennett from Sundered Vale also agrees with me because we were talking about it. She doesn't like Steve either. And she told me that Steve does not get better.
See? What the fuck? Exactly.
Bennett should hopefully be joining us next season for
Yeah.
a stream.
That'll
see.
be exciting. And then also, this is very extra decorating for a middle school dance.
Yeah,
This
right?
is way fancier than any of the high school dances I had. And I went to a private school. They had money. to
Yeah,
make
and
the
this
dance
is
was nice. And they didn't. They were shit.
like it's the middle of Indiana. Like I'm assuming that Hawkins is not a big city.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That was just a random side note I had. And so then we have Lucas ask Max to dance. And okay, Allison, keep your opinions to yourself. No one asked you. And
You don't have to listen to
was-
her, Allison. She's not.
I was like, LOL, middle school dancing, being 3 feet apart from each
Yeah.
other, looking like fucking zombies or mummies, whatever. So funny. And a random girl comes up to fucking Will and calls him Zombie Boy and asks him to dance. I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
don't call him that and ask him to dance. And poor Will, he clearly doesn't want to. And Mike's like, come on. And he, very reluctantly goes, which we know why now, but, anyways, won't spoil that for you, Johnny.
I know. That's something that was already spoiled for me because I didn't hide.
Damn it.
I did not hide from spoilers when season 4 was being covered, so I know what I know what the outcome is there.
Damn it. I mean, also, I forget, I think it was in one of the stories when Joyce was like, "Oh, was it fuck, what did he draw that was like rainbow? Castle, dragon, something? What did he draw? You remember
I
that?
don't.
He drew
Nope.
something. In one of the memories, she's like, "Oh, you drew something, and it was a completely new thing, and you used every single crayon in the box." I'm like, "Of course you did, because same as a child, same."
Oh,
Anyways,
she was talking about like the first time she gave him the colored pencils or the crayons. His first box, she gave him like 120, and he used everything.
yeah, but I can't remember what he drew. That's gonna annoy me.
I want to say I feel like it was Castle Byers. I feel like she said that's when he drew Castle Byers for the first time. I might be wrong.
Jonathan mentions Castle Byers, and it is based off of Will's drawing he mentions, but yeah. Anyways, Dustin asks Stacy to dance. Why is that so hard to say? And she rejects him, and then girls walk away that he tries to approach. And I was like, this is so sad. Poor Dustin. Poor Dusty boy.
I'm not real familiar with the Morlocks, but I've seen him bring this up a couple of times. What side quest is a Morlock thing, Vactor?
So, they are kind of like the X-Men's, trying to think of how to put it, like
they're like the ones that weren't able to fit in, right? Because I remember from the
Yes,
animated
right.
series, the Morlocks were the ones that were like had physical mutations too. Like
yes,
they couldn't fit, they didn't pass as human.
right, 100%, yes. So yeah, that's kind of I think that outcast kind of, yeah, just not.
Oh, that's last episode. That's why I was confused, because that was L's episode 7. That's what he's talking. That's why I was confused, because I'm like, I don't know of anything like that in these two. Yeah, I can see with the trip to Chicago in 8. I can see what he's talking about there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in 7.
No,
Yes,
8.
7.
Number 8. The
Oh,
Callie was 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jane is 11 and Callie is 8.
Very good.
She had the
Glad you know
008 tattoo.
Good job, Johnny. You're not losing it yet. You're going to remove me from the stream now.
No, I'm not petty.
Well, I am.
Clearly.
And let's see. Nancy
I do have I do have a big note. No staring longingly. I assume that Steve and Nancy were staring, or no, Jonathan and Nancy were staring at each other, and went like he was doing the photos and she was doing refreshments, and I was like, no staring longingly.
Which
but then,
also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go.
I'm not talking, so just talk.
Right before that, when she's pouring the drink and some kid comes up to her and he's like, "What's in this?" And she's like, "Pure fuel," which is a callback to when they're at the party and some douche is like, "Pure fuel" is in the punch. Anyways, go ahead.
No, mine was going to be moving forward, talking about her like coming in clutch for Dustin and asking him to dance when everybody was like,
that was my next note.
I know, that's why I wasn't going to say anything, but you pushed it.
That was great.
that made me like Nancy a lot more.
There we go. Okay, so at least you're coming around on Nancy. She's not the worst. She's not the
like
best, but she's not the worst.
All my brother's friends, you're my favorite. And I was like, aw, that's sweet.
Yeah. She is very sweet and like well-intentioned and like clearly has a lot of great skills. It's just something about her just makes me want to gouge my ears out. I don't know. Anyways. No reaction. So yeah, she comes to the rescue, teaches him how to dance, blah blah blah, cute little scene. And then we have Joyce is chilling outside of the dance because of course she is. And Hopper comes up and they share a cigarette. And I was in all caps. I was like, just make babies already, you two. Come on. Come on. And then Elle finally comes in and finds Mike. Are you going to move your head? No. Okay. And neither know how to dance, and they figure it out together. So cute. And then Max and Lucas kiss, which I remember that happening, but still I was like, I feel like that escalated very quickly, but you know. And then Mike and Elle kiss finally, since they didn't before at the Byers. And then they pan out of the gym and start to flip to the upside down, and they see the big smoke monster standing over the gymnasium. And
The Mudo,
that is the
kaiju.
end.
Yeah.
That is the end of season 2. Good day. Well, I'm sorry. Did I wake you up? Yeah.
Quip says that the way he feels about Nancy is the same way I feel about Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's just like something about her. Like, she's obviously grown a lot and she's gotten more confident in herself. And, like, you know, she's done a lot of like good shit. But at the same time, oh, Johnny's gone. At the same time, like, I don't know. Is she just, maybe it's the writing, maybe it's her acting, just like something's like off to me. Quip, I don't like any of the Whalers except the baby girl. I mean, I would hope
Holly.
so, because she's, yeah, Holly's literally done nothing ever, so nothing to hate. Oh yeah, great music. I mean, great music like overall in the entire season, both the soundtrack and the why can't I think of the word?
Score.
There we go. Very, very good. Yeah, especially these last 2 episodes, like in the very intense scenes, I'm like, ooh, I love this music. It's so good. Gets the people going. Yeah. What are your memories of how season 2 ended for you, Vactor?
That last shot, the flipping shot, that was like, I need season 3 now. Like, I remember that turning to my then girlfriend, now wife, and be like, we need this now.
Yeah.
This was a year after the first season, and then they took like a 2 or 3 year break between the two and 3.
Yeah.
1 and 2, and
Yeah.
then 2 and 3.
Yeah, because I knew it was about a year, and then I think it's 2 years. I'm looking at IMDb right now to check. Yeah. Season 3 is 2019. Yeah. So that checks out, which I mean makes sense because season 3 was pretty big, pretty epic. And obviously season 4 as well. But season 4 had 3 years, and now it's going to be 3 years again because it's going to be 2025 when season 5 comes out. Sadly for us.
So I did the smart thing by not getting into it until now.
Also,
sure,
I remember
the smart thing.
I remember these episodes when I went back to rewatch it, I was like, oh, I remember when they were only 45 minutes and they're not 2-hour long episodes. This is great. I'm glad that I came on for this.
That's really only in season 4.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that actually has kind of, it's been a mental block for me for season 4 of like, it feels like a weight on my shoulder of like, man, these are 2 hours long. I got to watch these.
They also were smart because those last 2 were the longest, and they separated them by months, which was, of course, to get people to pay for 2 months of Netflix. But yeah, it was nice to just have those 2. Frustrating, but nice because they were longer. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, that was you said everything I was going to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. If I don't say in the moment, I will forget it because ADHD. And I only took 1 dose today, so I'm really struggling.
Yeah, that was a great like last shot. That was like a perfect last shot for this season.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and like, you know, it sets up next season in a way that like season 1 did with season 2. But I think it gives us even less of a tease in a good way, whereas like season 2, it's like you see Will you spit out this whole sluggy thing, or at the end of season 1, I mean, spit out this whole sluggy thing. And also, what was the other thing that happened? Is that when he gets the flash to the upside down? Does he also get a flash at the end? Do you remember, Johnny?
Yeah.
Or Vactor? Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of season 1. Yeah, he
I
has
think
a
he does.
he has a flash, just a quick one. But doesn't say anything
So
about it.
it was kind of like, you know, a couple of things to it. Yeah. Oh, do you want to come up again? All right, come here. Come say hi to the people. Try to eat my cheese. Fine. I'll give you the cheese tax. It's bad anyways. I can't eat it. You'll be fine though. You have an iron stomach. Anyways. All right, Johnny. So, overall thoughts for these two / the season as a newbie to Stranger Things?
It's good. I like it.
Put that
All
on
right,
the
y'all.
box.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much to say that I don't already say during our actual coverage.
How did you like it in comparison to season 1? How about that?
I don't know. Like they're both fine. Like I like them both.
You don't like Westies are hardy breed. Yes, they are. Especially this one. Yes.
I think so it's hard because season 1 Steve and Nancy were really fucking annoying. And
that's what you're gonna base it on?
And this season Mike was really fucking annoying in addition to. So, I mean, I guess season 1 overall had less annoyance from characters. So maybe I liked season 1 a little bit better. Yeah. I feel bad for Will. He keeps getting the short end of the stick. Dude, if he gets
Will and Joyce, I'm like, how, like Joyce being at the dance, once again, not surprised, but like how Joyce isn't inside at the dance, I don't know. Cause like if I were her, I would be inside at the dance.
Well, she said like she wants to be inside, but she's being good for Will because he wants to be
normal.
Like, he wants to be normal, yeah. So she's doing it for him. I will say next season they need to get away from Will being the catalyst for the bad stuff, because if they do it again, it's going to be a little played out. I think they need to find something else to do as the focal point for the antagonist. Like let Will be Will and be one of the good guys for a season, rather than first season being taken out of action, second season being the antagonist essentially.
Right.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
So I'll be interested to see where they go with that. I know it's the mall season, and that's
Stop it.
And I think I know that it's the Mind Flayer again, because I remember coming down when my roommates were still living here. I remember like watching half of a episode of the middle season with them when like they were in the mall, and I think there was something there something physical that they were calling the Mind Flayer. So this is the point where I get I have knowledge of some spoilers of things in season 3 and a little bit of season 4, but like that's about it. Like I know the Mind Flayer. Okay. I think I know the Mind Flayer is the enemy again next season. There's a bunch of stuff with a mall. Ow. And I know some of the spoilers, like the scene with I think it's Eddie, like in season 4, like wailing on the guitar in the Upside Down playing Metallica. Like I know about that. Like
Yeah. How could you not?
yeah, because like I said, I
It
didn't
was
avoid
everywhere.
spoilers,
Yeah.
and I was not trying to avoid spoilers because I wasn't intending on watching it.
Yeah.
Like so,
You were gonna
I
be
watched
the like
some.
hipster and be like, "Oh, I never watched it. I don't want to watch it." Now
No,
look
I just
at you. Look at
I
this
just didn't watch
growth.
it.
I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
great! Thanks, Derek. That's awesome.
Each season, there's someone acting really
Real fucking
annoying.
annoying.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you're
even
not wrong.
I watched streams and discussions about the episodes from season 4 as people were doing them without having watched the show. Like I didn't watch the show, but I watched people talk about the show.
Oh wow.
How
Just
much
because
do you
it was
remember,
it was
though?
totally out of spite that I wasn't watching it. Just completely out of spite.
And who's petty again?
Not me.
Not
Tom.
me. Never. Not you, right?
No, that's not
No,
petty.
you-
That's spiteful. I'm spiteful.
No, that's Johnny, I hate to tell you, that's petty. I'll take you to Petty University 101 as soon
Dang.
as this one stops licking my nose. Okay, I love you too, but like,
Was it
you
just
lick your
because
butthole
of
with
the like the pop culture, everywhere you went, it was like Stranger Things.
No, when it debuted, I
No.
was dating a girl who would not shut up about it, and then we broke up, and I was like, I'm just not going to watch it.
It's one of those. Yeah, that's not
Well-
petty.
No, that's spiteful.
Welcome to Petty Hugh, where I've been elected homecoming queen, prom queen, and most likely to overachieve. Yeah. One of me and
Well-
Allison's favorite YouTubers has a whole merch brand called Petty University and segments
wow.
of her show. Love her. Swoop.
No, probably
Swoop.
not, Derek. Like, nah.
I believe it's still available.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah,
it came up
yeah.
on my
I forgot about
suggested
that.
watch. Yeah, it comes up. So it is still there.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to ask, who hurt you, Johnny? Aw, sends hugs. Yeah,
thanks.
it's funny how,
Spiteful
like,
Johnny.
I definitely I hate that like Star Wars was one of them, but Star Wars was totally one of those same things. Yeah, I know, Vactor. Shocking. Because I've like it's been a roller coaster with Star Wars for me because like I liked it growing up. I was never like super into it. And then yeah, my ex in college was super into it, and I was like, fuck this, because he was psychotic. Yeah, and then I like started to get into it again, and then like I was very excited for when The Force Awakens came out, and then yeah, the person I was dating at that time was also very into it, so then I got out of it again.
Oh man.
Now I love it.
Oh yes.
It's great. It's
Perfect.
great. Yeah. That was the second time. It was just like for a brief amount of time because yeah, Force Awakens had just come out and I loved Force Awakens. And yeah, after that I was like, okay, like this will be my own thing. I will separate that person from it, as like an adult thing to do about it, unlike some people. This whole episode is just like shots fired at Johnny. Love you.
Sure. Should we do That's What They Said or spoilers without context?
I mean, do you have any other predictions or anything?
No,
for next
no, I
season?
pretty much said everything I need to say. Like I said, I think I already know that the enemy next season again is the Mind Flayer, like the physical Mind Flayer, because I remember part of an episode in the middle of the season. Solidarity quip.
Sorry, my snort was very close to the mic. Yeah, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
I see that the title of the first episode of next season is Susie, Do You Copy? So I'm curious who Susie is.
Well, you'll find out. Vactor, real quick, how was it re-watching these episodes for you? Was there anything that you were like, oh yeah, totally? I know we talked about it a little bit, but like totally forgot about it. Like, oh, like saw this little like Easter egg or bit this time that I didn't see the first time. Anything like that?
Not like Easter eggs wise, but it was interesting to kind of like remember things that I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this 6 years ago. But as I was rewatching it, it was like it was yesterday. It was like, oh, all these memories came back
Mm-hmm.
to me. And
Mm-hmm.
also like remembering the time where I was when that was coming out. So that was the nostalgia of my period in my life at that time. All of that was
Yeah.
interesting, but um I liked revisiting it and seeing all of these characters where they were in season 2 to where they end up being. So it was very interesting.
I'm doing that right now with Doctor Who. I
Ooh.
just recently started rewatching back with series 1 with Eccleston as the Doctor.
Oh,
I'm just finishing up Tennant's run and like remembering like dude, these episodes are fantastic. Like Midnight and Blink or Don't Blink. I forget which the title of the
I
episode
still
is.
need to watch it. I started with Eccleston years ago and then
I
didn't
you were
finish
liked
dating
it.
someone and now you didn't want to watch it.
No, no,
I
no.
know.
It was like back when like a lot of big things were on at once. I think it was like Game of Thrones and it was like
Oh,
something I was
man.
just kind of watching in between things. So it
Yeah.
was like I gotta pick and choose what to watch now.
This watch through, and the last time I watched back through, I remembered liking Capaldi's Doctor a lot more than I originally had. This watch through, I liked Eccleston's Doctor a lot more than I remember liking him. So it's interesting how my perceptions and opinions on the Doctor and the actors playing the Doctor changes. I'll be interested to see how I feel about Matt Smith's Doctor this time because he was never one of my favorites. Like Tennant has always been my favorite Doctor of this run, these recent runs. And I know 11 is a lot of people's favorites. Like Matt Smith is a lot of people's favorites Doctor, and I was like, it's okay. So we'll see how I feel.
He got me
about
to
it
wear a
this
bow tie.
time through. Yeah, bow ties are cool. Fezzes are cool.
Yes.
I know that reference.
Hello, unnamed Westie.
This is the good one that can stay in my lap and not move. Oh, there's your fatty spot. Your fatty spot.
This isn't a Doctor Who stream, so let's get back to Stranger Things. So that's what they said, or spoilers without context first. What do you want to do?
Vactor, you choose. How about that?
That's what they said.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've been
And
doing
we're
it where
gonna-
the guest will start. So Vactor,
Yeah.
if you want to do the first one, then we'll go clockwise around the screen. This will be
Give
your
me-
that's what they said for episodes 8 and 9 of season 2 of Stranger Things.
Give me a minute. Oh, do I say all of them?
No.
Wait.
Oh.
You're next, Johnny.
Do I have the wrong ones? Did you send?
No,
I don't have.
Did
how
you
many?
look on?
Yes.
There's 2 pages. Did you look on
Yes,
Discord?
I have to. The first one I have is. Yes.
Are you
I don't
looking
have
at the shorter
one that
list?
says. Yes.
Look at the longer list. It goes long
Okay.
and short. That's
It
how
also
it
doesn't
was in the
start with
Discord.
"Give me a minute." The first one on the long list is mine's bigger. Did you send me the wrong ones?
It's in our group message with Vactor. Oh no, honey, you're falling. The
Stand
group
by.
message with Vactor.
Oh,
Stop being a Steve, Johnny.
I got the wrong ones. Somehow.
What do you mean?
I think I got
You
last
didn't-
episodes.
You didn't get the wrong ones. It's in our group message.
No, I had the wrong one. I think I went back to that's what they said you sent me from last episode because I didn't get them from the group message. Now I have them. Okay. Let's start over. Vactor.
And scene.
Give me a minute.
Open sesame.
Keep going.
Yeah, this will work.
I could feel it. The electricity. It's multiplying.
It's electric.
Why am I tied up? Again, consensually in a sub-dom relationship. All right.
Can you use this?
Hold him down.
Consensually in a sub-dom relationship. It's grown a lot.
Consensually. It should fit now.
She needs protection.
Yeah, it's me. Don't cream your pants,
That was the line from, yeah.
Steve. See, how can you hate Steve when he says funny things like that?
You know what happens when you disobey me.
Consensually in a sub-dom relationship.
There is no chance we're going into that hole.
A party member requires our assistance, and it is our... I spelled that wrong. It is our duty to provide that assistance.
It's in my mouth. Some got in my mouth.
We'll do it here.
Those suckers got you pretty good, huh?
You want some of this?
I got a little something for you.
Yeah, you got it.
Yay. Oh, wait, there's one more.
Closer. A little closer.
Yay! That's what they said. It's for Stranger Things season 2, episodes 8 and 9. Yes, exactly, Quip. If it's consensual, you would know why you're tied up. Exactly.
Well, I mean, maybe. Maybe
knows?
not. There is consensual non-consent. That is also a thing.
Yes, that's
so you
true.
could be tied up and not
CNC.
know why you're tied up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that'll
Moving
bring
on.
us to spoilers without context. So we will bring Kayla. I almost said Ensign Kayla.
I mean,
That's a
I am
different show.
Ensign.
That's a different show.
I just made that noise.
Kayla's will be first, and then mine. So I'm going to bring them up on the screen here. So these are
I'm
Kayla's
struggling
for
to find some for these
episode
episodes.
8.
Yeah. So I just searched basic, and that's what I got for the first picture. Pretty basic. And then searched Mind Flayer because I was like, I'm sure this is something else somewhere. So, yep, that's what I got. And Exorcist Girl because Will's creepy exorcist voice. And then the damn telephone, which was exactly the same phone that they had. Yeah, basic. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Sweet. Ours are very similar.
Yeah.
So I did. I just Googled hacking because, like, for Bob, and Solid Snake because Bob was totally Solid Snake in this episode.
No,
The buffet because the demo dogs treated Bob like a buffet. For Bob.
Damn, I was wondering what that was for. Damn.
And then the Mind
Savage.
Flayer because Mind Flayer from Baldur's Gate 3 because I played a lot of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes, you did.
Can I say
also-
my favorite quote real quick from my favorite video game streamer? He was playing Spider-Man, PlayStation Spider-Man, and he was sneaking around, and he goes, "He's not Solid Snake, but the snake's still solid," and that made me laugh.
Oh my god! Boil and mash and stick Bob in a stew. Which also,
Poor
the
Bob.
correct answer, according to Samwise Gamgee himself, is boil them. Bob Tatoes. How do you type so fast? Every time. I never see you typing. So funny. Anyways, good job. So similar.
Very similar, yeah. So
Yeah.
the next will be Kayla's for episode 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyone want to know why I did a cougar?
I don't know. Karen?
Yep. And then black hole, because Hopper was talking about how he's a black hole. And then Vampire Diaries, because the same black veiny thing would happen to the vampires when they'd get all bitey. And then scuba goggles, or like underwater goggles, because they all put those on to go into the upside down tunnels. And now I really wish I had done the Jurassic Park one for episode 8, but that's fine.
Yeah. So I did 2 for episode 9 because I had so many ideas for what to do. So the first one I did, Ren and Stimpy, because at the beginning of the episode, memories, misty watercolor memories. I always hear it in Ren's voice because they sang it. And then Outrun for Max's driving.
Mm-hmm.
I did the Linda Blair for this episode because of Will's possession.
Yeah.
And then I had to do, there was a hole here. It's gone now from Silent Hill 2 for the gate. Because they closed the gate. And then
We closed the hole.
I did Blue, the Velociraptor, because of the demo dogs. I did Corrupted Willow, Dark Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I did the Fallout Boy cover for Light 'Em Up, because when they set the hub on fire, I had this song on, Light 'Em Up, light 'em up on fire. And then the ninth gate, because they closed the gate. So,
is that Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a
Johnny
good
Depp
movie.
movie.
Should I watch it?
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. Good to know. Just curious.
It's entertaining.
Good job, Johnny. Unlike
Thanks.
you, I couldn't think of anything.
Oh, yours were good.
That's okay. It was a reach.
They were good.
It
I
was
just
a reach.
thought
Around?
and they're very
A lot of
similar.
things.
Like, I could have used either Dark Willow or Linda, and then the gate or the hole. Like, they're similar things. I just found multiple images for each one. Anyway,
Why are you
Whoa.
growling at? Why are you growling? He's not near. Oh, he is kind of near you. He gets very protective of me when the little one comes near me, because he's my OG. He's my boyfriend, the love of my life. Excuse me. He's way over there. Nope, he's right here. Just kidding. He read about Steve and was like, no. What if I pick him up? Will you murder him? Probably. Okay, we won't do that. Not today. Hey! Not today, Steve. Stop. And I can't say your name on camera, so stop.
here, mute your. I'll mute
Anyways.
you, and you can say it. Never mind. Okay, forget
No,
it.
he stopped.
All right. Okay. Well, that does it. That about wraps it up.
Yay. Thanks for joining us, Vactor. It was a lot
Thank you
of
very
fun.
much for having me. Yes, this was
Yeah.
a very good time, and it kind of renewed my interest in Stranger Things. So this is good for me.
Yay.
Cool.
I know. It's been cool to see people who have gone back and rewatch it, or just like talking about it, like when we post in different places and people are talking about it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I mean, it's such a great show, and it just it just sucks that we're in the end game now of this long hiatus in between seasons. So kind of forget about it, and especially because I don't know, there's been some good stuff lately, but there's also just been some general bleh shows, and I think especially now with like the writer's strike and the actor strike and all that, like there's definitely a lull in things. Plus the holidays, it's like people have time to like binge watch and rewatch things, so that's fun. Don't growl at him now.
Season
He's
2 of
just
What If
walking
has been pretty entertaining so far.
I need to watch it.
And we just got the new Doctor Who specials with David Tennant coming back as the 14th Doctor.
Which I literally saw someone. Sorry, you finish your thought first.
I was going to say, and the first, the Church on Ruby Road with Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor, which is, I always have to, like, because his name is spelled Ncuti, but it's pronounced Ncuti because it's some African language name. So, but so the NC is pronounced like a sh, so it's Ncuti Gatwa.
He was in Sex Education, which I love that show. So good. Yeah, I saw, because like I know you talked about it and like saw some people in a Discord talk about it, like how people are upset with like how woke it is. And then I saw a post yesterday about how like from like I think it was like a pretty well followed Instagram account, like not a big one. Hey. Not a big one, but like pretty well followed, like literally calling it woke. And I don't know what happened, but like I posted about it and I was like, I really fucking hate people when they say this shit, because I'm like you don't realize that you're calling yourself an asshole by being anti-woke by saying this.
Like I don't understand how people think calling something woke is an insult. Like you should want to be woke. If someone's calling you woke,
to others,
you're doing the right thing.
Care about others other than yourself, other than like people that look like you, and like I don't know, crazy idea to treat other people with human decency.
Right.
I don't know.
Can't have that. Come on.
No. Yeah, I posted it and then somehow it was removed from my story and I never got notified. So I don't know if they originally took down the post. Or I don't know. I didn't really follow up on it, but I was like, oh, well, can't call them out on it now, I guess.
Yeah. Anytime somebody says that in one of my YouTube comments, I immediately just turn off. Like as soon as I see the word, I don't even read the rest of the comment. It's like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah. You know that nothing that they say after that is going to be of anything of substance.
Yeah.
As Allison says, anytime someone says it's woke, I think, thanks for outing yourself as a racist piece of garbage, Carl. Yeah, Yep. Empathy is for nerds. Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, unfollow this account, blocking this account. Good day.
I said good day.
Good day. Yeah, I'm like, it's not that hard to be a decent human, and like if you're really like that upset by things, maybe you should like take an inward look at yourself and also go to therapy, as I like to say. Anyways. Anyways, thanks again for joining us, Vactor. Hopefully we'll be joining you soon to talk about some Star Trek comics. We'll have to discuss that after.
You don't have any exes that like Star Trek, right? Like you didn't have.
No.
Okay.
I think
check. I have to check.
Probably would have discussed that 7 months ago when we started doing Trek Retrek. So far so good. So excited to do that, especially because I don't really read comics, but would love to. But as I've told you before, would love to get into them more. And this is when Dole would probably come in and say, read comics. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm aware. And if you want to tell everyone where they can find you, what you have going on right now, what you have coming up.
Yes, youtube.com/Vactor. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok posting daily shorts. I try to do character biographies and interesting questions I see. Somebody asked me, hey, how strong is Spider-Man's webbing? So I said, I can make a short about that. And I'm also doing Star Wars, anything in comic books, and I'm hoping that we can have a great Star Trek comic episode coming up soon. So all of that is going to be over youtube.com/Vactor, or anywhere you find podcasts. I am the Vactorverse.
As the shirt says. Yay.
And thank you very much for having me. It
of
was a
course.
pleasure.
Yay.
Thank you for joining us. We're always glad to have you on.
I know. You're very knowledgeable in a lot of geeky things. So always good to have you on. And excited to delve into some Star Trek comics with ya.
Yes.
How did you type this in the chat? I never see you typing. It's just so fascinating to me.
That's my mutant power.
Can you do it without looking? Is that how you do it? Oh, he's typing right now. Also, I can't hear it. Unlike Johnny, who's like, moment of silence for Bob. Type.
Click, clack.
Okay, well, aren't you cool? With
I have
your
a mechanical
keyboard?
physical keyboard, so.
Anyways.
Switches. Anyway, and hopefully joining us tomorrow for our holiday hangout stream, Jackbox Games.
Yeah, feel free to stop by anytime after 7. You're welcome. You don't have to come here at exactly 7. We'll 8 your time. Feel free to stop by anytime. And we'll be starting at 7 for everyone. If you want to join us, we've sent out the StreamYard to a lot of people. So honestly, have some idea of who's going to show up, but not everyone. So it'll be kind of exciting. And I thought of doing.
We'll be very close to, if not at our max, our maximum of 10 participants.
Yeah. Well, it depends on when people show up too. And I'm sure people will leave because, some people are on East Coast time and some people are back to work. I think a lot of people will take this week off, but I know some people are working like me. It'll be a lot of fun. And I thought it'd be good to do some Jackbox games because they're just going to be all different people and not everyone will know each other. So figured it would be a fun icebreaker and also something that people in the chat can play as well. You just need your phone or a browser to play. If you haven't played before, it's a lot of fun. So looking forward to that. 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern tomorrow. Yeah, we're doing that in place of our normal Trek Retrek episodes as a little holiday hangout because holidays can be hard for a lot of people, and thought it would be nice to have kind of a space people could go to hang out, have fun, have some laughs, and have some virtual company of sorts. So because it's the holidays are extra hard, even if I don't know, you don't have other stuff going on that makes it hard, but sometimes just seeing a lot of people happy and being around family and friends, that's hard to see. So, hopefully this can be a place for you to have a little bit of that. So, looking forward to it. And you can follow us on all the socials at GTFO channel. If you want to email us, our email is channelgtfo@gmail.com. And thanks for geeking the F out with us, y'all. Anything else, Johnny?
Nope. Playing the outro music.
Okay. Peace out, Cub Scouts.
Bye.
See you, Molly. Wrong one.